live, but I'm not. There we are. We are live. Hi, everyone on Nature Class. I also have it on Instagram too. So just in case the internet has been a little sketchy today, we don't lose anyone. So today it's dual purpose. We are going to be doing, hey, Graybeard, how are you? So today we are doing two things. We are unboxing from Skulls Unlimited. This skull, I promise you, is you're never going to guess what it is. And then we're going to be talking about carnivorous plants. So what they are, how they get their nutrition, and some really crazy facts that I bet you did not know about Seymour from the Little Shop of Horrors. Okay, let's get down to it. You guys, hey Adam, how are you? So we're doing the unboxing. This is from Skulls Unlimited. Seriously, this is like my Walmart of internet. Some people like Amazon. I love Skulls Unlimited. Hi, Amanda. Look at this crazy cool thing. Does anybody know what this is? You guys see it? Oh my goodness. Just makes you want to kiss it. So it's glued shut. So I'm not going to be able to show you kind of like the really cool inside stuff. But if you look closely, you'll see there's some molars on the top. And these molars actually extend the entire way across the roof of their mouth. Does anybody have any guesses of what this could possibly be? Look at those really sharp teeth. And you got some crushing molars. You got a really skinny top of the head. We won't spend too much time on this because the main focus was to be on animals. Oh, wolffish. Adam, you are so good. Yeah, this is a wolf eel. And wolf eels are found in the northern Pacific area, so from Alaska down the west coast of the United States. And they're not really a true eel like, say, the American eel or the moray eel. They're just a very thin fish. I mean, eels are fish too, but they are not a true eel like the American eel or everything like that. Good guess. So the wolf eel is really incredible. It looks really scary, but it's actually just a really phenomenal animal. They are monogamous, so males and females will stay together to raise their eggs. And the teeth, this is for catching the prey and holding it. And then the molars below are for crunching. So their main diet is like sea urchins and crustaceans, like crabs and things that are very plentiful that not very many things want to eat, but also require some heavy duty tools. And so that is what those crushers are for. And then those really sharp teeth are meant to hold on and grasp. And they have like over 200 vertebrae. So that is a very long fish. And they have also been known to be very social. When they have like frequent visiting divers, they have been known to be very receptive towards them and even slightly affectionate. So really cool animal. And the babies are this really beautiful, bright red and orange color. And then as they mature, they start dulling and they turn kind of like a gray color. The males get this really kind of rough looking face. It looks pretty scary, or the females have a little bit more of a sleek, feminine look. So very, very cool. So that is a wolf eel. Again, seriously, I got to add that to my new favorite fishes, because I love my hagfish. All right. So we're moving on. Carnivorous plants. So carnivorous plants are pretty awesome adapted plants, right? This isn't supposed to be here. And carnivorous plants are in fact plants, even though they get their nutrients from protein. Like, for instance, some of them will do insects. Some of them can even do frogs. It's pretty crazy. So this is a pitcher plant. Pitcher plants are found pretty much around the US, anywhere it's tropical. And these little pitchers are actually modified leaves. And they are created, they have some digestive juices inside. So when something falls in, it immediately starts to basically dissolve. And as it dissolves, the plant will suck up its nutrients and use it for growing. So what makes this really a plant instead of an animal, right? Instead of a predator? It still does photosynthesis. So it still has to have the sun and water to be able to grow. But because it has adapted to survive in very acidic, very poorly nutrient environments, it needs to find those kind of nutrients somewhere else. And that's how they are able to get that, is from getting ants and bugs and different things to fall in these modified leaves, these traps. And you can see they don't last too long. This is a pitcher plant that has started to die and dry out. And then you see these new pitchers, these new modified leaves that are starting to grow through. And those will turn into what this is. So really neat plant. Goodness, they are amazing. There's so many different types of carnivorous plants. But I'd like to talk to you about a very special one. And sorry, guys, it might seem like I'm off focus all the time. It's because I'm talking to two different cameras. Here we go. Let's try to do this. So this is a Venus flytrap. And what's very cool about Venus flytraps is that you can only find them wild in the United States, particularly around North and South Carolina, those boggy, marshy areas. However, they are starting to find them in Florida and New Jersey. And they also have very neat modified leaves. You can see they are hinged leaves that open up. And I'm sure you've seen how it works, right? They have their leaves open. And inside, what you may not notice, you might notice the little spikes up top to kind of close and hold everything in. What you may not notice are those tiny little sensory hairs that lie right in the middle. They are called trichomes. I think that's how you pronounce them. Trichomes, trichomes. And this plant can actually learn to count. So these trichomes have to be triggered twice in order to close. And this prevents the plant from wasting all that energy every time like a leaf falls in or something that it can't use for nutrients. It doesn't want to waste its time. So it has to have some kind of trigger at least twice. I wrote down the name because I could never, it's called thigmonesty. So thigmonesty is the basically the process of what makes the leaves close. And I will have a video posted of this pretty soon, right after I'm done with this. So yeah, also like the pitcher plant, I'm trying to think of all the facts in my brain. Like the pitcher plant too, it lives in very nutrient poor soil. And so it gets its nutrients from ants and bugs and sometimes even a frog that seems to fall in. But it is so kind of such a unique plant that North Carolina decided to make it its official carnivorous plant. You know, the state, you have state flowers, you have state trees, and North Carolina has state carnivorous plants. Now, sometimes you will see there's like different colorations on the inside of some of these leaves, and that's to attract its prey. It also has this really pleasantly smelling, sweet smelling nectar it produces to also attract bugs. And if that doesn't work, it also emits this fluorescent blue that is also attractive to plants, kind of in the similar way that we use. It sounds terrible, but we attract those bugs with those lights, the zapper lights, right? It kind of has that same effect. And I'm trying to think of any. That is it. Does anybody have any questions about carnivorous plants? They're so neat, and I can't wait to propagate this one. He's almost to the right size. This is Seymour, by the way, my carnivorous plant. He's almost to the size where I can start propagating. But what's really unfortunate is that they are becoming threatened in the wild. They can only be found wild in the United States. And the reason why they're becoming threatened is because they need a lot of sun, but they also need a lot of sun in a very boggy spot. So it's kind of a very unique habitat because with their sun, usually the water just dries up, right? So they need a really good mix of canopy with some just small patches of open sunlight so they can still have that boggy soil that the trees kind of save, in addition to having those. I know, it's so neat. They're only found in the United States. So it's really important. And we were able to do this with controlled burns. But unfortunately, we don't do that very often because of some regulations. And what's happening is that understory is growing up so much that now these sun-loving plants don't have those sunny patches. Also, people are harvesting them. So luckily, nurseries are starting to propagate them themselves, which is great. We have, our money really speaks a lot. So when you buy from a nursery that goes through propagation instead of, say, like Home Depot, that has been kind of known for collecting things from the wild, especially carnivorous plants from the wild, you really do make a huge difference. And so they are like the best pet. So you can come in once a couple of weeks, and you can feed them a little fly, and you can see them close up, and then they'll stay closed for about 7 to 10 days. Each one of those lobes will close about 4 times before it finally turns black like these guys and start to die. So they're a great pet, right? Because you only have to feed it every so often. It reacts when you want it to, and then you can leave it alone. If you do decide to have a pitcher plant, definitely keep rainwater in it. Do not use tap water. Also, don't be messing with it and trying to get it to close. This is really kind of stressful for the plant because it's using that energy to close and they're not getting anything out of it. When you do get a pitcher plant, because I highly recommend, or a Venus flytrap, because I do recommend it, it's really neat to kind of test it. So as long as you are feeding them properly, distilled water works really good too. I don't have a reverse osmosis, so it's a little bit more challenging for me, but I do have a ton of rain. So you can actually get like a little needle and you can start playing with the hairs. So try to do 2 hairs at once, one time, and then try to do 2 hairs like simultaneously, and then try to do a very long break in between the touching the hairs, and you will find out some pretty interesting things. But that's it for today. I just wanted to talk to you guys about carnivorous plants, and particularly the Venus flytrap, because they're in a lot of trouble here in the States, and we get a lot of attention towards our threatened animals that are the big megafauna, and not enough goes to kind of the underdogs in our nature. So thank you guys for joining me. I will stay on just a little bit longer if anyone has questions. Oh my goodness, we do have questions. Hi, Heather. Sorry I missed you. Agent, hi. How big does it get? And sorry, you guys, I did not have my comments on earlier. It will get slightly bigger than this. I know Little Shop of Horrors kind of gave us a bad perception of the Venus flytrap. Don't worry, they will not eat humans or eat your finger. They don't get that big, unfortunately. I was hoping to have like this monstrosity of a Venus flytrap, but this is about the size they get. Do I have a green thumb? No, this is why I do Venus flytraps, because they're as long as you give them the proper water, you keep them in moss, not soil, and whoa, we just got a crazy storm come through. And you keep them in a sunny spot, you really can't kill them. So those are my kind of plants. And that was from Heather. So thank you, Heather, for that question. Anybody else on Instagram have any questions? Big shout out. Thank you, Mike and Kayla and Steve, Paul. Who else is here? Lizzie, Bryce. Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for coming and stopping by. Zoology Rick is here. Also, last night, it's still up. Zoology Rick and I had a fantastic Q&A about how to make it in the SciComm and wildlife realm, especially in these times and things. Hi, Rick. And that's on the Instagram live feed, and it's up till about 9 o'clock tonight. So if you want to learn about the do's and don'ts of SciComming and how to kind of make your way in this world and to understand that all of us go through some trials and tribulations, and maybe you can learn from those that Rick and I talk about, definitely join. And then we also do the animal trivia, which will be every Tuesday night. Well, thank you guys for joining. We did something on carnivorous plants, and we also highlighted a new skull that I got in, which is a wolf eel. My goodness. Skulls Unlimited and Bones Clones do really a phenomenal job. Hi, Mike. Thank you so much. You guys, thanks for joining again, and I will see you tonight for story time. Bye.